Hey guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today talking a little bit about Town Hall 9 and Clash of Clans. And with these recent nerfs and buffs that we've talked so much about the last few days now, I kind of want to get into new strategy and where strategy will be going in the game and a little bit away from my thoughts. I'm sure you are all very aware of how I feel about everything by now, but we're kind of going to move on here. I actually have a few episode ideas all ready to go. I already have the replays that I think you guys are really going to enjoy moving on. It's just a matter of finding the time to upload all these and create the content. But today what we're going to focus on is how this balance update may have opened up a window of opportunity that hasn't been there in quite a while, to be honest with you guys, for air attacks, really at Town Hall 9, 10, and 11, but today we're going to focus on Town Hall 9. So you might be asking, why are we watching an HGHB attack when you're talking about an air attack? And that is a great question, and the reason is because just basically to illustrate that any ground attack at Town Hall 9, 10, and 11, with the exception of mass miners, which I won't get into today, but with the exception of mass miners, has definitely gotten more difficult after these balance changes, no matter what way you look at it. Now, sample sizes are still very small, so it's always super important to remind ourselves that if we see one fail or success with any given strategy, it's just a very small sample size still, and defensive base building has not caught up. You saw a fail on that HGHB attack there, and that's really to illustrate that HGHB has gotten definitely more difficult. Can you be successful? Absolutely 100%. The strategy isn't dead. Nothing's dead. Queen Walk's not dead, and I don't think many people were saying it was dead. Just why would you nerf them? But as I said, we're not going to give our opinions on that. But basically what I really wanted to cover here is the cannon damage. If you're going against max cannons with ground attacks at Town Hall 9, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. Same thing obviously goes for Town Hall 10 and Town Hall 11. So that combined with the defensive meta catching up to the anti-queen walk with the air traps, actually all air traps, whether it be mines, air bombs, or even skeleton traps set to air, can target healers now. So as defensive base building catches up to the new offensive meta, I think you will start to see some seeking air mines placed on the perimeter of the base, trying to defend against the most obvious start points for a queen walk. And that's going to open up a new valuable opportunity for GoLaLoon attacks. Some real classic Shattered GoLaLoon attacks with 2 golems, 3 lava hounds, very basic stuff that we were doing a long time ago. Over a year ago, we were doing these very basic Shattered GoLaLoon attacks, and I think this might open up a new window of opportunity for basically those 2 reasons we discussed. Number 1 is ground attacks did definitely see a very slight nerf with the cannons doing extra damage now, and those cannon extra damage is not to be kind of just shrugged off here, guys. The boost that all your cannons on the entire map are getting are almost equivalent to 1 whole upgrade level, depending obviously on what the level is. But definitely, like I said, nothing to be scoffed at here. You got to take it seriously. Ground attacks definitely did get a slight nerf with a cannon buff, and if you add the healer thing to it and you add the defensive meta eventually catching up with the offense, I think that will make GoLaLoon more viable in the game. So that's why I'm going to make sure to dedicate quite a few videos in the coming weeks and even months on GoLaLoon. We're really going to revisit the strategy, and we're going to discover and explore different variations throughout the process. So this is really the first video. I'm basically just bringing you guys raids that were successful in the last day, because that's all I have for replays right now, obviously post update. So we're going to see a few different variations in today's video. This first one here using all haste spells for the LaLoon portion of the raid, and as the second and the third raid of this episode get underway in just a second, we'll really break it down to a play-by-play, technically speaking. On this one, kind of just talking over a little bit, but you can see how devastating this attack can be when it's well planned. And this strategy is not as technical as some people think it is. You don't have to whip out your protractor and call your rocket scientist friend. You can plan these out in, under 20 minutes if you really have a good feel for the strategy. So Today I'm bringing you 3 different variations of a pretty classic GoLaLoon. Now this one obviously had the 5 haste spells, and it had a max Lava Hound in the clan castle. The other 2 replays will have max bowlers in the clan castle, and me personally, I would prefer going with the bowlers still, because bowlers are still incredibly powerful at Town Hall 9 in the clan castle. Me personally, I bring bowlers on every single one of my attacks, whether it be ground or air attack at Town Hall 9. So here we go again. Starting out these strategies, it's very basic, the same as all your ground attacks. You don't want to screw up this funnel. You only have one shot to funnel your heroes into the base. Now there's 2 things you can do with your heroes when you attack into a base. So on the screen right now, I'm just going to go ahead and put a list of your objectives with your kill squad on these attacks. And obviously guys, not every single base is the same unless you're attacking the general every single time, and if you are, then you should be 3-starring against the internet bases. But obviously no bases are exactly the same, and what direction you attack into a base is going to really determine how heavy you go in with your kill squad versus your LaLoon portion of the attack. You can see here, Dominic the attacker, he went really heavy on the first portion. He brought some Valkyries, he obviously had the 2 Golems, he made sure he nailed his funnel, and most importantly, or most noteworthy, you can see he used almost all his spells on the first phase of the attack. Now, why did he do that? It's very simple, guys. And it really boils down to 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is, if you're gonna use bowlers in your clan castle, you're going to want to rage them. Bowlers are absolutely incredible under rage, especially against Town Hall 9. So guys, for basically any attack you're using, whether it's HGHB or just Goho with bowlers in the clan castle or Valk attack, if you're using bowlers, make sure you rage them when they get to the core of the base. That's how you totally wipe out these Town Hall 9 bases. That's what makes bowlers so incredibly OP at Town Hall 9. So that was reason number 1. Reason number 2 is, notice his attack point against this base. He came in opposite side of the enemy queen, meaning that he was going to have to rely on that kill squad not only to get to the core of the base, but to really target that queen opposite the core. So he really had to go heavy on his entry on his first phase of the attack. Now this one's going to be the opposite thing. The last replay of this video, we're going to cover coming in from the angle indirectly leading into the queen here up in the north of this map, and you'll notice the kill squad on this attack noticeably lighter. He's not going to use all his spells. You can see he has 3 haste spells, and those will all be for the second phase, the LaLoon phase of the attack, and then he'll be using 1 heal spell and 1 rage spell on the kill squad here along with that jump to access the core of the base. Now why no Valkyries, and why no second rage spell like we saw in the first attack? And like I said, guys, like I said on that attack, is that he doesn't have to rely on that kill squad to get to the entire other side of the base. He's still able to take down 2 air defenses. I'm not sure if that late golem deployment was on purpose or not, but either way, he's waiting at this point for the golem to take down that air defense, and when there's 2 air defenses left, he can just take his time here. The queen walked around the base, so things went far from perfect for Invincible IND here in the first phase of the attack. The queen actually walking around wasn't that big of a deal because he still was able to achieve most of his objectives on the first phase. He took down the clan castle, he took down the enemy queen, and he took down 2 air defenses, and that's the benefit of bringing the 2 golems and going shattered. A, it's easier to funnel in, and B, you have a better chance of getting down 2 air defenses, obviously, than bringing 1 golem. Now, I think even Invincible IND would admit that that first phase was kind of lacking on this attack, but he really makes up for things with the balloon and lava hound deployment on the second phase here. And look at this, look at all the balloons he has left standing here just to help on the cleanup. No defensive structures left on the map. He has the queen still up and alive. He has a few wizards that he held back on to help with the cleanup. Of course, not a lot of pups here, because when you only bring 2 lava hounds on these attacks in favor of the boulders, it's always a good idea to keep in mind to hold back a few of those wizards to help with the cleanup. So guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thanks so much for watching. If you do some air raids, let me know, give me some feedback, tweet me, comment, whatever, guys. I want to know what you guys think of the evolving meta at Town Hall 9, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.